Welcome to the Smarter Balance and NGSS Interim Assessments Overview. This video will provide you with a brief explanation of the types of interim assessments available, the purposes of each type, and how these short, focused assessments can benefit educators and students. The interim assessments are predicated on the fact that they measure assessment targets aligned to the CT core standards. A variety of item types from across assessment targets are used to elicit specific skills at differing levels of difficulty. The interims are a useful way to check student progress and to gather information about learning that can alter the instruction provided. Interims offer flexibility and can be used for professional development or in class with students in a variety of ways. The State Department of Education is not dictating if or when you use the interims, but we caution you to keep in mind the purposes and appropriate uses of these assessments. Before I begin, I want to stress that although the interim assessment items are non-secure, the interim assessments are non-public. These materials may be used for the purposes of training district educators who are responsible for scoring student responses or for improving teaching practices in the classroom. Teachers and administrators are encouraged to use the interims creatively, but items and scoring materials should never be sent home or posted online. If the items are released publicly, the integrity of the assessments will be compromised. The interim assessments are just one part of a comprehensive assessment system. A study published in March of 2020 illustrated that in both ELA and math, in all grades, regardless of the performance level or socioeconomic status of the student, those students who took four or more different IABs during the year generally demonstrated substantially greater mean scale score gains than those who took fewer or no IABs. There are three different types of Smarter Balance ELA and mathematics interim assessments. The interim comprehensive assessment, or ICAs, are similar to the Smarter Balance summative assessments in length, content, and format. Each content area ICA has two parts: a grade level ICA and an ICA performance task. The second type of interim offered for ELA and math are the interim assessment blocks, or IABs, which are shorter assessments that concentrate on smaller sets of related concepts. Science offers only one type of interim assessment, and those are the interim assessment blocks. The Smarter Balance ELA and mathematic interim assessments also offer focused IABs, which are blocks designed to focus on discrete bundles of content to give teachers a better understanding of students' knowledge and academic performance, and to provide teachers with precise next steps for instruction. All interims are fixed form tests, meaning they don't adapt based on a student's performance. The focused IABs measure only 1 to 3 targets and contain 8 to 15 items. Some pre existing IABs have been reclassified as focused IABs. However, their content hasn't changed. The interim comprehensive assessment mirrors the summative, or end of the year test, in the length, content measured, and reporting. The ICAs can add hours to overall testing time throughout the year for students. The ICAs are fixed form tests, and this is important to keep in mind if students are taking both the ICA and the interim assessment blocks within a grade, because we'll see many of the same items across both tests. We caution against multiple administrations of the same interim to the same students. The drawback to fixed form tests is that there is only one test available. If a teacher wants to use a single interim as a pre and post test, the students would be administered the exact same items twice. Overexposure to stimuli and items may influence student performance, requiring careful interpretation of data analysis. At this point, the CSDE does not recommend the use of ICAs as pre or post measures due to the high rate of item repetition across the ICAs and IABs as demonstrated in this table. If you have any questions about if or when you should use an ICA, contact a CSDE and we will help you determine if this assessment is right for your students. The NDSS interim assessment system is quite different from the Smarter Balance interims. Rather than blocks or tests containing many items, each NGSS interim consists of a single item cluster. Each item cluster includes a real world scientific phenomena with several item interactions that focus on sense making and problem solving. Interactions include a variety of item types that students see on the state summative assessments. All the item interactions are machine scored, as there are no open ended written responses. Scoring assertions for each item are scored as either correct or incorrect, and the results are instantly available to educators in the centralized reporting system. Interim assessments provide teachers with an additional tool that measures students' mastery of specific content and skills aligned to the Connecticut Core Standards for ELA and Math and Next Generation Science Standards for Science. While there's no better place to learn these skills than being part of a dynamic and interactive classroom setting, teachers can use interim assessments throughout the year to inform instruction by measuring student progress, identifying areas of strength and weakness, and assessing the skills of incoming students. Interim assessments are administered on a computer using the same test delivery system as the online summative assessments. The scope, sequence, number, and timing of the interim assessments are all determined at a district level. A teacher may administer an interim assessment that is above or below a student's grade level. An above grade level assessment might be used by a teacher to assess students who are receiving instruction with curriculum aligned to above grade level standards. A below grade level assessment might be used by a teacher who wants to assess students who are struggling with grade level content to identify areas of weakness in prior learning. Since the assessment items are available through the viewing application, teachers can also display items for use as entry or exit tickets, use them to engage students in content discourse, or to provide further exposure to question types. Schools have a variety of assessments available and must make sound decisions about the pros and cons of these assessments. The interim assessments provide a variety of benefits that are not necessarily available with other assessment platforms. These are short, focused assessments that provide data quickly to teachers. Given that they're not standardized, there are a variety of ways that the interim assessments can be implemented, providing flexibility that's rarely seen with standardized assessments. These assessments are not tied to a specific program or resource, but rather they're tied directly to the standards, providing students with exposure to the exact type of items that they would see on the summative assessment. And finally, based on the results of the math and ELA interim assessments, teachers can access additional supports to address the needs of their students. For more information on the interim assessments, visit our CSDE interim assessment webpage or contact a consultant to answer any of your questions.